What's going on, my guys? Fun fact before we get started, Samsung released the first commercially available camera phone back in June of 2000, 20 years ago. The V200 had a 0.35 megapixel sensor. What? That's just wild. All right, let's do it. Thanks for dropping by, guys. If you're new here, my name's Jed Dobre, and if you like cameras, learning, and just tech in general, go ahead and hit that sub button, and while you're down there, go ding the bell. Alright, my music suggestion today is Yours to Keep by Sticky Fingers, so if you're one of those non-hardcore metal loving fools out there, this one's nice and smooth for you, so you should enjoy it. Anyway, today's topic, 10 things that a beginner editor should know about Final Cut. It's just 10 little shortcuts, fast things, just little handy little tidbits that it's nice to know when you're just getting started out. Right, let's do it. So automatic speed is our first cab off the rank today. Basically, if you filmed at a high frame rate, let's go with 120 frames a second, and you're editing on a 24p timeline, what this will allow you to do is it will snap that clip to its slowest true playback speed. So 120 frames on a 24p timeline can be slowed down to 20% of the original playback, and that will give you your 5 times slow motion. So what you want to do, come here, we're going to go here, click down on automatic speed, and that has automatically slowed this down to the slowest true playback. So now just click the bit you want, piss that off, and there you're good. All right, so that leads us into tip number 2, kind of. This is just the retiming shortcut. So basically you've got to select your clip, you're going to hit Command and R at the same time. This is going to turn your clip green to show that you're in normal playback speed, or the same that it was filmed in. If you slow it down, it'll turn orange, and if you speed it up, it will turn like a blue purpley color. I'm colorblind, so whatever. Sometimes, depending on what I had for breakfast, I'll just select the whole lot, hit Apple R, and it will show where all my slow motion is, where all my sped up, and where all my normal talking headshots are. And sometimes I just like to look at pretty things, so. All right, banger tip number 3, speed ramping. Very simple one. I have made a more in-depth video up here, so go watch that one after if you want to know more, but a real quick way of how to do it. With your clip selected and your playhead at the place you would like to introduce a speed ramp, hit Shift and B on your keyboard at the same time. Now above your clip, this will create a little split. You'll have 2 green for normal speed, and then what you want to do, the portion you either want to speed up or slow down, you can do 2 ways. You can either drag this toggle to the left or right to change the speed, or from the drop down you can choose either a custom value or a preset value. This will create your speed ramp, no fuss. Now you'll see this grey little opaque slider. This is the rate at which the ramp happens. The closer it is to the split, the more rapid and abrupt that speed ramp will be, and the further you take it away, the more gradual that speed ramp is. So it's really that simple, and that leads us to a fantastic four. Fantastic 4. And let's go with double tap to reveal timeline. This one's super simple. If you are a trackpad editor or a mobile editor, so a laptop or whatnot, instead of pinching in and out to change the size of your timeline, if you just want to snap and show the whole timeline at the same time, 2 fingers, double tap on your trackpad, and bang, it'll snap to a full screen. Super simple, super handy when you're trying to locate a certain clip. So, tip number 5 is our clip duplication shortcut. So sometimes you need to clip in there twice, whether it be to try and minimize the flicker of lights or whatever it might be. Sometimes you just need it in there twice or thrice. YOLO, who knows? Select your clip, hold Option and drag up, and this will basically pull out another clip. You've pulled one from the multiverse, you've gone full Rick and Morty on that sucker. So, tip number 6 is super duper simple. This is the create transition shortcut. So basically with your clip selected, go ahead and hit Command and T at the same time, and bang, just like that, you've got yourself 2 cheeky cross dissolves on the end of your clip. Now a bonus tip on this tip, or a tip within a tip. Let's go with that. If you're saying, but I don't like cross dissolves, I like using star wipes or whatever it might be. All right, George Lucas, go down the transitions panel, find your favorite transition, right click on that, set as default, and now when you create a shortcut transition, your favorite transition is there already for you. Well, it's pretty simple, eh? Now, a tip within a tip within a tip. If you select multiple clips at the same time, hit Command and T, they're all going to be transitioned. So use it as you will. Don't overdo transitions though. Tip number 7, if you're a Final Cut user, you'll know that Final Cut can bloat your file sizes quite badly sometimes. If you have 10 gig of files on your timeline, but you've made lots of adjustments like color grades, transitions, whatever that might be, it could have bloated that original 10 gig out to 30, 40, 50 gig sort of territory. It's rendering that will bloat these file sizes. Basically what rendering is, it's just saving all those adjustments you've made, and that's what all the excess data is. To save disk space and help slower, older units keep up with the workload, turn background render off and just render when you need to. Background render is going to do its thing whenever you're not touching the trackpad or keyboard, and that's what's going to bloat those file sizes. So if you're always running out of space on your computer, I would recommend deleting the render files. You won't lose any of your progress or any of the adjustments you've made. You'll just lose all that excess data, which is great because no one even needs that. And then when you're done with your project, then you just re-render it and export as normal, and you're all good to go. Another tip within a tip situation, when it's time for me to render something, I just select the portion I'd like to render, hit Option and R at the same time, and that sucker's rendering. I know I said that was a tip within tip, but this is a tip within a tip within a tip. If your computer's always struggling with the workload, another thing you could do is go up and check that you're set for performance and not quality. So what this is going to do, this is going to show you a lesser resolution on screen, thus making your computer not have to work as hard so it can concentrate its power on other areas that need it more. This doesn't change the quality of what you're going to output, it's just a little helping hand where it needs it most. Tip number 8 is adjustment layers. I've linked some of Daniel Schiffer's ones down below. Go and give this whole thing a big old fat thumbs up while you're down there as well. Cheeky plug. Anyway, what an adjustment layer is basically a layer you drag above your footage. Now this might sound a little bit silly, but it's where you make your adjustments on this layer. Hence, adjustment layers. Genius, right? Basically what it is, it's a non-intrusive way that you can make adjustments. So if you apply a really heavy grade or some really crazy effects, it doesn't actually change your initial clip. Every single adjustment I make is almost always on an adjustment layer. The only time I'll do it on the clip itself is a bit of a manual tweak of exposure because each clip's going to be slightly different. And that leads me to tip number 9. What we're going to do, we're going to hit Command and 7 on our keyboards. That's going to bring up our Luma waveforms. Now this is going to show our values of our exposure. Down here we have number 0, which is if we go below that, where we've lost all data in our blacks. And up here we have 100. If we go above 100, it means that we're losing all data in our whites. So you want to keep your exposure between there and use it as a sick guide. And when you start to use some certain cameras, you can actually get these waveforms on the back of your camera. So once you learn how to read these forms, it means you'll be able to nail exposure in camera too. Thanks for sticking around this far, guys, because this is tip number 10 and the final tip of all. This is copying and pasting adjustments from clip to clip. So let's say you didn't take my advice and use adjustment layers, or you made a whole bunch of audio tweaks to a certain clip, and you want to apply those exact same tweaks to a different clip. What you're going to do is select your clip and hit Command and C at the same time. This is going to copy everything about that clip, and then choose the clip or multiple clips that you'd like to apply the same settings to. Hit Shift, Command and V at the same time, and it will bring up this little drop box. As default, it will have every adjustment checked on there. So just go ahead and mark and unmark the ones you do or don't want, and then hit OK. And now all those adjustments that you had from your original clip are now on all your other clips. It's that simple. Thanks so much for sticking around for the whole video, guys. That is the end. If you did make it the whole way, go ahead down in the comments below and leave me a little cowboy emoji. Let me know who made it the whole way through. All right, while you're down there, go and hit that big old fat thumbs up button, subscribe, all the good stuff. My name's Jed Dobre. I will see you in the next one. Bye. All right, we're done. We are done. I need to turn the oven on because Rosie's coming over for dinner. Bye. Dinner time.